Previously, in X-Men, Professor X remains in a coma in the care of Dr. Moira McTaggart, while former team leader Cyclops is spending some quality time with his brother Havoc and their recently unestranged father Corsair. The core of the team just faced off against Dracula. Yes, Dracula, that Dracula. And they are currently residing at their island headquarters in the Bermuda Triangle. I am Jason Lapidus.
I am Chris Sanagan.
And we are a group of 7 comics. Welcome to episode 75 of our ongoing Tuesday night live stream read-through of the X-Men comics that became classic, as we read Uncanny X-Men 160 by Chris Claremont, returning guest penciler Brent Anderson, inker Bob Wiacek, cover date of August 1982. There you go. We're reading this one tonight, buddy. How are you?
I'm good. This one surprised me. It
surprised me too.
Yeah.
It surprised me too. Like you, this is an issue I had not read before. And it's possible I still haven't read it yet.
Right.
So we'll see. I did not read this one in my travels. I have not read it either in its original form, in its X-Men Classics form, or in my trusty Essential X-Men Volume 3 form. I've flipped through it repeatedly, and I don't know what it is, but generally other dimensional demon realms often turn me off for whatever reason, except if that is like the boundary of the story, like with Hellboy, for instance.
Sure.
I'll go a step further, but with the X-Men, when they go... Once like the ground rules of their universe just become wide open, I tend to just go and flip through to see if there's any dynamic or any moment that I really love, or a piece of art I really love.
Of course. And yet, actually, I'm going to, based on what we've come across so far in our run, I'm going to argue an important issue to canon.
Yes.
An important issue to canon because of one character's specific development and how that character then spins off in that new design, the everything about it into a couple of different books. Like,
right.
This is actually when I didn't know what I was getting into. When I finished it, I went, this is actually like a watershed moment. So, which is really interesting because I don't think anyone's saying, X-Men 160, unless perhaps you're fans of that particular character.
True. Oh, of course.
Right. But me and my limited knowledge of what comes next, I still know a little bit of what comes next. And when I think about properties that come out of this, I'm like, this is leading here.
Right.
Also, you had titled this, what did you title? What was it? X-Men Inferno Origins, right? And I got really excited. The reason I got excited is because I have this trade paperback in my house, which is X-Men Inferno, and I've never read it. And I got given to me in a pile of hand-me-down comics from a good pal, and I've had it, and I want to go through it. It's got Mr. Sinister on there, and there's the X-Men, the old X-Men, all the X-Men. And I was like, Inferno! And then I went on the back. I'm like, it's the dude from Inferno!
It's the dude. Yes.
I'll say I got unreasonably excited to read this issue.
I didn't realize he was in this issue. And then I saw on the Mignola cover, I'm like, he's right there. I don't know why I didn't figure it out.
Man, I want that cover.
Yeah, me too. Mark Silvestri draws the character that we're going to see. Is his name Sim, or I forget his name already?
That's how I took it, is Sim. Yeah.
Okay. So Mark Silvestri draws him. He's one of several artists who draws him in the Inferno crossover in 1987, 88, 89, around there.
Right.
And he just has such Ben Grimm and Hellboy personality later on. He smokes a cigar, he's like slouching, and he's like a grumpy, very earthly demon.
Yes.
And in this, it's the portrayal of him is obviously in its fledgling form, so it's a different rendition of the character, like a different actor playing the part almost. So it's kind of interesting. But just as you were mentioning before, you hinted at that there are people, of course, that love Ileana Rasputin, like Magik is the character's superhero name. They love Magik, or she's also called What is
Child? No,
is it Dark Child? We'll hear about it in the comments. I'm sure someone will help us out with that.
But
so let's just go with
It's got a K.
Dark Child. There are people that love these characters, and mostly that's because good, talented creators got on books where they had opportunities to play with characters that were maybe not top of the list at the moment, and then they do something great with a premise that's been sort of sitting to the side. Mm-hmm. And a lot of writers have made their name off of mining the gaps in between Chris Claremont storylines.
Yeah.
So you take something there, you see it, and you run with this one little thing, and you make something out of nothing, and it's a really nice creative exercise.
Yeah.
I'm definitely of the version of X-Men reader. I'm the version that, like, the core team from this era is just my team, and if it's a character not in that team, they're not a character I really care about. So all these supporting characters that people love down the road, like I hear a lot of our friends just raving about Strong Guy, or Guido, they call him both.
Sure.
That's his name.
Sure.
And it's like, he's a side character to me. He's, there was a side character, Leela Cheney, and then she had a bodyguard, and that's her bodyguard. Like, it's like so far down the list of important characters for me, but I realize that other creators do something with these C-list characters and make them into A-list. And then people really invest in them. So it's nothing personal. I don't have feelings for them. It just wasn't, they're not my team, or not my main characters, which is totally cool. Like, if someone only watches the original trilogy, they're not going to care about Ahsoka Tano. Right? If you've only watched episodes 4, 5, 6, right, Ahsoka is not your Jedi. Right. But if you grow up on Clone Wars and then Rebels, right, you're like, Ahsoka is amazing.
Right. If you I think what I'd say is, so Ahsoka to me has become the Jedi for me.
Oh yeah, me too.
But in the sense where, you and I are 4, 5, and 6 gen.
We are, but we also kept going.
That's what I was going to say. I was going to say,
like, just stayed.
I was going to say, if you're continuous in your consumption of Star Wars, and you go through what we would consider to be the highs of 4, 5, and 6, and the lows of 1, 2, and 3, and then presented with a Clone Wars animation series where you're thinking, well, whatever, and then it becomes what it becomes, and then Rebels becomes what it becomes. And now, I mean, I know we're talking X-Men, but that Ahsoka trailer,
that's okay. It's all the same thing.
Ahsoka dropped a few days ago, and my lord, does that look like it's going to be a ton of fun. And the Rebels crew is back. Of course, got a little taste of that in Mandalorian a couple episodes back as well. They're all there. They're all there. We just haven't seen Ezra yet, and we know we will. So
bigger for me than the Ahsoka trailer was actually the Star Wars Visions Volume 2 trailer that dropped yesterday.
Wow, so Robin does Star Wars.
It looks like, so whereas the Volume 1, is it called Volume 1 or Series 1?
I think it was just called Visions 1. Like, I think it was,
let's just say Visions 1.
Sure.
It was all Japanese studios, and this is international. And it looks like the team that makes the production, like the studio that produces Wallace and Gromit, is doing one of the stories. It looks like Kubo and the Two Strings, Coraline, that group is doing one.
Oh, they're Laika. They're called Laika.
Laika, thank you. I can't wait for that. That's like, Kubo is already in the Jedi realm.
Kubo is like, that's fantastic.
Amazing.
Yeah.
And then it looks like also, just to my eye, that the Spider-Verse crew did one.
Yeah.
So if you're telling me there's going to be Star Wars from those 3 studios, I'm May the 4th is now all of a sudden like on my calendar, besides the fact that it's my brother-in-law's birthday. And it's generally a Star Wars day. It's now like, I can't wait for that day to stream those episodes. Can't wait. Very, very, very cool. And the Marvels dropped today as well as a trailer. And I'm like, that looks like a fun Disney Plus hour.
It does. And Secret Invasion dropped the other week. So that's coming in June. So things are coming. Yeah,
lots is happening. But Indiana Jones dropped, I think, Friday or Thursday. Yeah, and I've watched that trailer, I don't know, 10 times already. Yeah. That's also my sweet spot. So I can't wait for that. So before we go further, I mean, I'll just mention, and in the comments, we've been told that we're going to need to read this as well.
That's right. We were suggested that we check that out.
Storm and Illyana, Magik, #1 in a 4-issue limited series. This is by, of course, Chris Claremont. And we've got the great, legendary John Buscema on pencils, Tom Palmer on inks. And that is like a really great creative team.
Sure.
Writing a comic book or creating a comic book that doesn't interest me generally. I've owned this since I was little.
Mm-hmm.
And again, it never really spoke to me that I wanted to read it. But now I'm going to have to, because this fills in the gaps that we're going to experience in this issue.
Okay. All right.
There's like a time gap. And things happen in that. I guess we'll get there.
Yeah.
So I only have the first issue. I don't have the other 3. I don't think I've ever even seen the other 3. But maybe that's something.
They must be collected.
I'm sure. Well, actually, I'm not sure. But I'll keep my eye out for them the next little while. It just never really interested me.
What I find really one of the interesting things about going through this week by week and issue by issue is there's all these tangential products come out, right?
David,
around the same time. So we're not. So we take a break. We look at the Claremont Wolverine with Frank Miller. We take a break. And we look at the Avengers annual, and so we're actually. And as these other products stories are being released by the same creative teams, our universe is much richer, and our conversations, I'm like, what we now have access to, because we're filling in the blanks, right? We're filling in the gaps. Like, oh, what happened here? It's like, well, we went back and found out this is what happened here. This is what happened to Ms. Marvel. Oh, okay. This is what happened to that's going to change some things, right? Oh, there we go.
David Cutler. How are you, sir? David Cutler, X-Men artist and all-around great guy and good company. They're collected both in the X-Men Omnibus and Epic collections that include the surrounding Uncanny issues. Mm-hmm. So there isn't a standalone graphic novel or TP, trade paperback, of the Magik limited series. I would rather track down the other 3 originals. Anyway, I will check in with my local tomorrow. Yeah. And maybe put a call out to a couple other stores.
From Anthony at Planet X, man. That guy finds some good stuff.
I'll ask Anthony if he's got those ones around. Yeah. I think one of the reasons I actually don't like this issue is the green. It sounds so silly. I think it's the wrong color. I wonder if it was black.
Is it 82? Is it the same year, or 83? Is it right around there?
It comes out around the same time.
Okay. It looks like to me,
or maybe a year later.
It looks to me like, even with the font, the Magik and the green, it reminds me of like an 80s, like Visionaries. If anyone knows.
Oh, yeah.
But 80s C-level toy lines or B-level toy lines or comics or those things that kind of didn't really last. The color scheme, the font make me think that.
It is odd that the second spin-off solo series, you get Wolverine, right? And we're going to do the 6-year-old.
But this is all leading up, though, isn't it? This is all leading up to New Mutants.
Well, New Mutants starts without her.
Oh.
And I'm not sure, actually. I mean, I looked it up a little bit, but I didn't go deep dive. I can only listen through interviews so many times. And Claremont is really verbose.
That's so weird, because his writing
I have not listened. I haven't listened to hear what made him interested in this character. So he inherits the character from Giant Size #1 of Illyana. She's there with the tractor. Yeah. Then Claremont brings her in when Arcade is kidnapping family members and loved ones of the team as a means to manipulate them. And then she stays behind. She becomes, friends with the other team members, and Kitty particularly seems to play a bit of a big sister role.
Kitty speaks Russian. Kitty speaks Russian. There you go.
Well, Professor X did one of those things where he secretly...
he matrixed her.
He taught Illyana English or whatever.
Yeah.
Didn't tell anyone, didn't ask permission. Just went and invaded some privacy. So the New Mutants is happening, and Illyana is going to join the New Mutants. She's sort of and I'm not 100% on my New Mutants chronology, but I think she's sort of the 6th member. They have the starting 4 or 5, and then she's the next one in.
Okay, all right.
Yeah,
because she seems to be pretty central after that. when she
Yeah.
I mean, obviously there's the movie. She's part of the movie. There's the whole right. Like feels like anytime you mention New Mutants, you mention Magik.
There's something just really cool about her look too, because when she powers up, one arm gets that armored up thing, and she gets the friggin' sword, and like a crown or whatever. Like, and then she also has that really neat, like heavy bangs, and Bill Sienkiewicz and those kinds of artists just go to town and really make an interesting looking character.
Mm-hmm.
She's the George Martin of the New Mutants. By that you mean she's the wrangler and professional that keeps the boys in check to make sure they're working from 9 in the morning till 5 at night every day. And then
I say, John, what you should do here, John. George. I've been watching the Get Back, the Get Back series on Disney Plus.
Oh, as if like I got you. Like George Martin is often called the fifth Beatle.
Yeah.
I gotcha. Right. He's a producer. That's a producer. If I had to say who the fifth Beatle was, there isn't one, except for When There Is.
When there was
Billy Preston for that last record together is like absolutely.
Oh, I thought you were going to say Stephen Dorff. All right, there's your reference. There you go.
Yeah, I get it. I love that. I have that video cassette of Back.
I bet you do.
Yeah, Stu Sutcliffe. That's a good movie. All right, sir. We haven't talked about who's going to do what part. It doesn't really matter. Let's just dive into this thing. You good to go otherwise?
Oh, I'm good to go.
Do you want to talk about anything else before we do this?
No, I think we're okay. I don't know. We get bring that cover up, and we're okay.
You want to talk about the crowdfunder and the.
Oh, hey, we got a crowdfunder going on. We'll talk more about that. I guess we talk.
Or next week.
Yeah. It launches this Saturday, people.
Right. We can also do a whole episode, by the way. Like we can meet up. On Saturday to for 5 minutes to say hi, everyone. And anyway.
We should do it live. That's a good idea.
So Brent Anderson, we've seen him draw a couple issues before, and we know that he goes on to pencil the God Loves Man Kills graphic novel, which we will have to definitely cover.
That's what he pencils.
Yes.
He's also the lead singer of the band Suede, if you're a big fan. 90s Britpop, Brent Anderson. It's very good. Anyway,
so you get this cover and you can be like, okay, interesting. They're going to face a giant red monster.
Right.
And you see what Mignola does as the counterpoint. And it's like, no, it's like Wolverine torn up versus a monster. Just really different approaches, obviously 8 or 9 years apart. Weird costume on Kitty. She's got like these pointed shoulders and the X on her head.
Yeah.
Odd.
But you know what? I don't know what it was about this issue in particular. And this cover image is a good representation of it. It's, in my mind, with Cyclops. Now, I know David's here and we're big fans of Cyclops. But in my mind, the 5 of them without Cyclops, cemented the lineup in me. This is the X-Men. Like, this is an X-Men team, this particular 5-some that I really enjoy.
Me too.
All I was going to say, I know Cyclops is off hanging with Havoc, of course, here. But I just mean that, like, when he's out of the picture and Storm's the leader unequivocally and Wolverine's able to kind of be Wolverine without them clashing, like, it just feels like the combination of the power sets, the characters, the, Nightcrawler, Colossus, Kitty, it feels it works so well.
Yep, I agree with you.
It feels like they find, this is the 5-some they find that is like the real balance. I mean, probably the second after the first 5-some, actually, truthfully.
Sure.
Anyway.
And it's interesting how, you sub out Banshee and sub in Kitty.
Yeah.
And it gets better.
It does. And I mean, hey, who loves Banshee more than this guy? But all right. No, Kitty, no, she's great. Anyway, and they've had enough of a year of her of like the kind of gosh golly Kitty.
Yeah.
It comes up. But it's enough gone that it's much more of like a teen book.
Agreed.
Yeah.
Are you feeling rather demonic tonight, by the way?
Depends.
I hope you're drinking something that gets you a demonic feeling.
Get some demonic It's like when Weird Al. Okay, no.
One weird thing, I wish Kitty had a more interesting pose. Like I realize that she's kind of partially phased through that hand, but it's a little awkward. The way that there's no effects on how she's through that hand. It just they never really did a cool effect with her facing. It's just cut her in half, or have part of her sticking out of a flat surface. But this one looks a little weird. Wolverine's pose is awkward and not interesting.
It's not. Yes, it's not comfortable.
I'll go with Nightcrawler's, although it looks like he is climbing on the logo, which is okay. It's fine with me. I'm willing to suspend disbelief for that. I love Storm's fingers. I have to say, that really works for me.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm into the Storm pose. Although it is really weird to see the back of her cape on her tuchus. But there you go. But I dig it. I dig it. Mm-hmm. Anyway, let's dive on into this one.
Okay, here we go.
And speaking of awkward Wolverine poses, everyone, play along with me here. We have two legs for Wolverine.
Yeah.
Which one is his right leg? Which one is his left leg? Go ahead. Try and figure that one out for me.
I don't know. And then he's twisting, I think.
Okay, so he's twisting. Okay, so that means the leg on the left side of the page is which leg of his?
The right leg.
Okay. So if that's his right leg, then why is his left knee bent the wrong way?
I don't know what's going on.
So now switch it. So now imagine that's actually his left leg on the left side. Then where's his bum? His thigh goes up.
Where is Wolverine's bum?
His thigh goes up and does not connect to a gluteus maximus.
No.
It is such the inker, Bob Wiacek did not help out his penciler. His penciler made a choice. Wiacek is supposed to fix things like left hands on right arms or 6 fingers. Your inker's supposed to help you out. This is a mangled human body, and it makes no sense.
Yeah, no, it's...
Roberto, how are you? Hope you're having a good night wherever you are. Thanks for joining us tonight. So it's interesting. I do like the premise of this. Guys watching the X-Men fighting through his demonic monitor.
Yes.
With various serpents and little faces on it. That's kind of cool.
Yeah.
And it's a pentagram thing, and
and we lose any preamble about who the Uncanny X-Men are. And in fact, this one connects straight from the title to the first dialogue box.
Yeah,
which shoots and ladders, but it is in the game. It's that hasn't happened often. That's new.
For the Uncanny X-Men, however, it isn't a game. Somewhere, someone else.
Strange. I thought these mutants were all friends, yet their leader, Storm, seems to be attacking her comrades in arms.
So they're having this fight, and I see a little blonde girl at the bottom.
Yeah. And
when you're shooting lightning, you know what you should do? Get a child nearby.
Make sure it hits the girl. Yeah.
Yeah.
And you can tell he's bad because he's got very long fingernails.
Yes.
Woo-hoo-hoo.
Coke addict.
Oh, that's his coke. His coke nail. Should we move on?
Please.
All right. There you go.
Ah, she uses her elemental powers to soar on the winds and fires bolts of lightning. Does she mean to slay them?
Fastball special, Petey.
As you wish, Doverish. The armored one, Colossus, is in no danger. His body is composed of living metal, super strong, virtually indestructible. Nightcrawler escapes by teleporting to safety.
Wow, that feels weird and kind of nice as she's struck by lightning. By the way.
Slow, cautious lightning.
Fantastic.
While Kitty Pryde's phasing talent allows the bolt to pass harmlessly through her, and Wolverine extends adamantium claws from special housings built into his arms and hands, responding to Storm's attack in kind.
So I get I know this is everyone's comic book is somebody's first comic book, so we're gonna explain everyone's powers.
Yep.
It is a bit odd that it's coming from this, other dimensional TV screen.
Yes.
And he knows all about them already. Like
yes.
maybe add a little bit of like I've been watching you for years. Do you know?
Maybe.
That's
not a bad idea. I also
take.
just want to note in terms of branding of the characters, Kitty's the only one who gets her real name used.
Right.
And it just goes to show you that the creators don't really have a great iconic superhero name for her yet.
No.
And this is one of the reasons that we all still call her Kitty Pryde all the time, because it just works as a superhero name in place.
Right.
It's functional, and I still think of her as Shadowcat, and I wish they had called her that sooner than later, but that's cool.
Yeah, it is interesting. You're right, how it has just stuck around.
Yep. Wolverine, careful! Oof! Cripes. I thought you'd twist out of the way.
I see. This was no duel, but a test to exercise and hone the X-Men's various mutant abilities. Considering Wolverine's unbreakable adamantium skeleton, that collision may have caused Storm some considerable harm. I dearly hope so. And there is the one I seek, Colossus's young sister, Illyana.
As if she sees it, right? Or hears it. And
right.
She got her Fozzie Bear.
Yeah, waka waka.
Yeah. Did someone call me?
It was I, little one, a friend. Come to me, child. A grand and glorious destiny awaits you.
Shouldn't I tell Peter Nikolaevich?
Tell no one, Illyana. Just follow my voice to paradise.
Dude, she's so dumb.
Yeah, well, Huh? Where's Illyana going? Ah, great. Just what we need. The kid wandering off in the middle of the first real team workout the X-Men have had in ages. Illyana, come back. You're supposed to stay with us. Guys, I'm going after Illyana. Be back soon.
Holy smokes, you were joking before about her knowing Russian.
No, I was not joking.
And like I said, I hadn't really read this.
Yeah.
I can't believe she knows that much Russian already, but maybe Professor X really did do the Matrix. Like,
Matrixter, yeah.
I know Kung Fu. So there you go. Cool.
Exactly. It shows up in a few other issues too, where you're like, what is she talking? Whatever.
Cool.
Yeah. She's already turned the corner. If I face straight through the building, I should catch her. Rats! She's moving faster than I expected. Almost as if she knows precisely where she's headed. She came to this temple. It's pitch dark here. I can't see a thing. Illyana, this isn't funny, young lady. Answer me. I don't like it. This place gives me the creeps. I beg of the others. That light. I can't move. What's happening? I feel no. Oh no! Aurora, Peter, anyone, help me! Okay, so another part that I think is interesting when we set the story up is I do not believe, if we go back to the first page, no, they don't. So when I first read this, I was like, oh, they're in the danger room, right? Oh, they're the mansion. Just not even thinking that they're on, because they don't say where they are. They don't say they're back on their island base.
They haven't said it yet.
No, I haven't said it yet. But she's like, oh, as soon as she goes to the temple, I'm like, the temple? There's a temple in the Xavier's mansion?
Right. Well, in the Dracula issue,
right,
clearly they were in New York for that issue, and they went back to the mansion.
Right. So I just wish there, again, like, you just add that little bit in for a little bit of clarity, just like on their secret base in the Bermuda Triangle.
Yes.
Anyway.
That workout gave me a powerful thirst. Anyone else want a brew?
I should like some iced tea, please. Are you all right, Aurora?
I feel a little tired, Kurt, but I shall recover.
You're pushing yourself too hard, too soon. It's been barely a day. It's been barely a day.
What?
It's been barely 24 hours since I battled Dracula.
Oh my god.
Oh my goodness. Like, at least do like a week.
Wow.
Wow.
Dracula. I'm just flabbergasted they fought Dracula.
They fought Dracula. Yeah, it happened.
X-Men versus Wolfman next time.
Go check it out. X-Men Uncanny, previously in episode 74.
With Becca Kinsey.
Becca Kinsey, that's right. Perhaps a shower will make you feel better?
Why, Kurt, what a perfectly splendid idea for the reader and for the character. We've commented before that there's like every excuse to take her clothes off.
Yeah.
Kurt is right. I ought to rest, but Dracula still haunts my dreams. I still remember how I longed for his caress yesterday, how I yearned to be reborn a vampire. I neither rest nor sleep, because I dare not. Whereas Professor Xavier remains in a coma, his condition critical and deteriorating, and Scott is yet to return in answer of our summons. Am I so weak that I cannot even create a rainstorm? No, the power exists within me. It is simply a matter of focusing my concentration. Once again, she turns to that part of herself which perceives herself and the world around her as patterns of energy. She reaches out, gently bending those primal elemental forces to her will, shaping them with infinite care and precision until she achieves the desired result. There! That's much better.
Hey, it's raining.
Yes, my friends, is it not marvelous? Blessed goddess, this has been a treat too long denied me. Would the rest of you care to join me? I can easily expand my microstorm. Let's just keep, I wish it didn't, but it sounds good to me, darling.
Has anyone seen this? This is making me uncomfortable. Has anyone seen Liana or Kitty? They are nowhere about.
Nope. Wait. Yeah, during our session, Kitty yelled out something about the kid taking a stroll. She was going after her. But that was a while ago.
Ileana is a child, but Katya is an X-Men. At the first aid of trouble, she would have summoned us if she was able.
I never liked this island. So here we go, the island, right? This is the first.
Right.
Since making it our headquarters, we've had no chance to fully explore it. Who knows what dangers could be lying in wait? Right, like since they just haven't looked in other rooms.
No, they're just chilling.
You can't find them.
Yamau says in the 60s stuff, the X-Men fight Frankenstein's monster. There you go. It's really, really okay.
Oh, wow,
that's great.
That's actually cool.
Well, both companies have like Frankenstein's monster as a character at times. Like I say, both meaning Marvel and DC.
Mm-hmm.
Trevor, oh look, Storm's naked again. Yeah, it's a thing they do, right? We're used to it, and I'm looking forward to when it's no longer used this way. But then again, some of the best Storm issues of all time have her doing such things as well, as we will get to in a year or whatever. Your concern is noted, Kurt. My cloak, please. Thank you. Wolverine, scout the area. Use your enhanced senses to find the girl's trails. Kurt, Peter, go with him. I shall follow you as soon as I'm dressed. Gotcha, boss. Anything? I got a solid fix on Eliana. Kitty's track fades in and out. I figure she was phasing, trying to cut the kid's lead. Both trails lead inside this temple. Anybody been here before? Know the layout?
Nein, yet.
Me neither. Absolute darkness, broken only by those flashing circles of light. Kitty! Ileana! Save your breath, Storm. Their scents are cold. We're the only people in here.
I do like now, I mean, sometimes they reference, Colossus and how he turns to organic steel in a matter of seconds or whatever it is. But in cases of that middle panel, he just turns. Like he's in the panel before, he's clearly,
yeah,
and it just has that white, that brightness, and he's steel. I love it.
It's really odd storytelling choice to have all the characters facing away from the
Right.
viewer in that first of three in the
Mhm.
triptych there. You can just see, I mean, Brent Anderson is really good at, certain things, and he gets better over time, but all these poses are just not dynamic. This feels like he needs to go read How to Draw Comics the Marvel Way again, and everything like Jim Lee does well, or John Byrne does well, like this guy's just not doing with these figures. They're just all not in interesting and dynamic poses. But again, it reads fine. Boring. Then where? Goddess! Storm disappears.
Actually,
As does Nightcrawler.
by the White Wolf.
And Colossus. Gripes. And finally, Wolverine. Did he say cripes or crepes?
Delicious, delicious grapes.
Cripes. Oh my goodness. This is actually, and we're going to see a little more. This is, as I said, it's a made a joke. It's like, oh, Nightcrawler, you perv. Yeah, I'd love to have a shower storm. There's enough like weird sexual stuff with Kurt in this issue, whether it's Kurt joking or Kurt as demon version Kurt, which we're going to see coming up.
I don't know what you're talking about. Here we go.
You didn't read the issues. You don't know.
Elsewhere.
Where am I? Wow, this place looks as awful as I feel. That light must have been a teleport mechanism, like Larry Niven's stepping discs. I hope this place is as deserted as our island. The decor is ending to go by. I sure don't want to meet whoever lives here. Yuck. All right, so what's the reference to Larry Niven's stepping discs?
I think it's Larry Niven's stepping discs. Are you looking it up?
Well, no, I guess I could, but I thought you might know.
I have no idea anything about that.
As you are older than I am. American fiction writer. The Discworld?
Is it maybe just that there's like I don't know, like a thing he uses one of
Stepping
his
disc.
books?
A Larry Niven. Oh, well, I found the Larry Niven wiki. Here we go. It's an advanced teleportation system designed to be used by puppeteers, comprised of flat open discs. So it's, I guess, stepping discs are employed. Okay, oh, that's it. Yeah, it looks like it's as part of his fiction, I guess.
Cool.
Ringworld. Ringworld is his book series.
Okay.
So there you go.
I mean, I've read Ringworm, and by that I mean I've had Ringworm.
I mean, I've had Ringworm.
I currently have Ringworm, but I've never read Ringworld. I'm taking dog meds for Ringworm.
Well, those are those are good though, right? Because those really help.
Well, they're cheap. They're cheap.
You know.
Going on, moving on.
I'll give a yell. Maybe Ilyana's in earshot. Ilyana! Looking for someone, Katsin? Yikes! Shame on you, Kitty. Is that any way to greet an old friend? Nightcrawler! Oh boy, oh Fuzzy Elf, I'm so glad to see you. Are the others with you? How did you get here? Have you found Ilyana or way home? Kurt! How dare you touch me?
Oh my God.
That? Who do you think you are? What kind of person you think I am? Limlin, you sound so shocked. Didn't you just say you were glad to see me? I am merely giving you an opportunity to prove it.
Oh my God.
Throwing up as I'm saying the words. So we just assume that he is taking advantage of their closeness at that moment.
That's one way to phrase that. Sure.
Yeah. And, because I guess we're meant to basically where his hand is phased through her.
Yeah, and I'm going to also point out, of course, he has a prehensile tail, and I'll leave it at that.
Oh,
moving on.
Pervy Nightcrawler. That's what happens in this one.
Yeah.
Get away from me. You're not Nightcrawler. Oh, but I am. This isn't real. Then you have nothing to fear but your own desires. Shut up. Can that really be Kurt? How could he changed so? Who could have done that to him? My foot. Welcome, child. My name is Belasco.
Okay, before you go further, I love your Belasco voice.
Is it a Belasco?
Oh,
That's what I'm reading.
yeah, I mean Belasco, like
Velasco. Okay.
I would imagine his. I did a little bit of reading, so he's got
Mhm.
like an Italian origin,
Okay.
but
Velasco. Anyway, okay.
but it's interesting use of red around her cuffs on the
Yes.
coloring. Like
Yes.
it's just sort of coloring under the black, and it really stands out in some spots. And I'm not exactly sure about why there is red used in every chance the colorist gets to throw red around her, like wristbands and top boot cuffs.
Yeah.
The colorist does that, and I don't really get why, but it's not a bad costume, but it's just odd.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of out of nowhere.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah.
By the way, do you know the score in the Leaf game? I do.
I do too.
Okay, just checking. All right, cool.
Cool. All right. Your ball lightning provides illumination storm, but I see nothing but endless tunnels heading in all directions. Are we still on the island?
Your guess is as good as mine, Colossus. Those circles could have transported us anywhere. It's a miracle we ended up near each other. Colorist mishap. I see the ball lightning right there in the middle of the panel, breaking the border. That thing should be the brightest thing on a page. And then the characters should be cast in shadow.
Because it's bright.
Because it's bright and it's not hitting them on the front, it's hitting their backs. Poorly communicated in terms of like notes as to how to color this. It does not do the job at all, but okay, that's fine. Moving on.
Is this an accident, Storm, or was Ileana abducted? And if she was, then why? Storm, look, I found something.
An armlet. Not an omelet, an armlet. Pure silver carved with intricate runes. It's beautiful. I've never seen it before, yet it feels strangely familiar. I wish I had answers for you, Peter.
Aurora, I would not put it on your arm. Oh, too late you put it on your arm. I am terribly afraid of Aurora. Kitty can take care of herself, but Ileana is just a child.
I know, I understand, but don't despair. We'll bring her home, safe and sound. David says that subtext in that third panel. David, I don't even think it's subtext, dude. I think it's literally, she says, like, yeah, it's text.
Yeah.
Ugh. Oh, the third panel on this page. Yeah. Okay.
Oh.
Yeah, I see what you're saying.
You verbalize it, Dave, and I agree with you. I think it's a choice, and it feels deliberate.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
Like you don't have to draw it like that.
Right. That was exactly. Yeah, you don't have to at all.
Right. Yeah. Barfy barf.
Barfity barf barf.
Tampa Bay pulled their goalie.
He's got his first point.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Awesome. I can't wait to see. On that, you have my word. Tentacles trying to tear me apart. They're too strong. My winds can't pull me free. Lightning bolts, full force, have no effect. Monster's skin exudes acid, searing through my costume, burning me. Colossus!
Hold on, Storm. I'm come.
He vanished. I am alone, and I fear as good as dead. Bright lady, have mercy. What is happening to me? My body. Transforming before my eyes into an amalgam of Nightcrawler, Colossus, and Wolverine. Adamantium claws slice noisome flesh like paper, while organic steel protects her from the creature's acid venom. Simultaneously, phenomenally agile and powerful legs kick her free, and her own powers sweep her to safety. David says, if you read the Magik mini, it's deliberate. Ugh, now I don't want to read it even more. That's Belasco's M.O. Ugh. No. He calls his dong Mo. Here's my Mo.
He's my Mo.
Hey, Gary, how are you? Have you read this one before? This is a bonkers issue so far. Meanwhile,
these crystals generate natural jamming fields that substantially inhibit your phasing abilities, Kitty, making escape virtually impossible. That's what you think, Buster. Hey, what's Belasco's pet demon do with Ileana? Leave her alone. If only I were free. Would you like me to play with me, little snowflake? Slave, you presume too much. Be gone from my presence. Master, no. Yeah. Your former comrade makes an adequate servant, provided he's occasionally reminded of his proper place. Oh yes, child, that is Nightcrawler. Reshaped body and soul, the image of his true lord, Belasco, who is me. I am a sorcerer, chief disciple of the Dark Ones, elder gods who seek to invade and conquer this plane of reality. Recently, by your time, I tried to open the gateway between their dimension and ours, but was defeated. As punishment, I was condemned to this interdimensional limbo.
Little note there, in that issue of Khazar, or Khazar, depending how you like to pronounce it, 11 and 12, this artist, Brent Anderson, was the penciler. So this is a character that he is invested in. Right. So, you know how we get these times where, maybe people collaborate a little bit here and there, and Claremont is sort of, seeing what everyone else is doing over there at, at Marvel. And he's like, okay, I'm going to bring Brent on to do, another couple issues while Dave Cockrum is catching up on stuff that, he's behind on his deadline. So we're going to do, a side quest here. Hey, Brent, is there a character that, that we can do this where, there's going to be another dimension or something with a kid or whatever. And right. He's the one who invites it in, or just his availability brings Belasco too.
Okay.
So Belasco is like formerly human who is granted, a demonic self,
right?
Because he, tries to do something to serve the ancient gods, the old gods, the dark old ones,
Gotcha.
Yeah.
You, dear Kitty, and Ileana will be the means both of my liberation and of the Dark One's triumph. But first, I must ensure that your fellow X-Men meet the ends they so richly deserve. Sim, stand forth.
Good day, boss. Gary Shipman Art says, I love how Chris is reading this. Gary, I actually asked Chris to read me all my bedtime stories because I love the way Chris reads everything.
Gary, you're welcome.
Chris reads my emails to me as well. Uh-oh. Yeah, I'm looking at the language here. Right, we're talking 1982. And yeah, they're throwing around some language that in 2023 is no longer appropriate.
No.
Yeah, do you see?
Yes.
So this is, yeah.
What happened to the smaller X-Men?
Yeah. What happened to the little guy? Last time Sim saw him, he had meat on his adamantium bones. Pity. Sim wanted Wolverine for himself. So tell me, boss, who do you want killed?
And so we see, this is the thing, so we're seeing all these things happening. We don't quite know what's going on. We know we're now in interdimension, limbo, and there's like skeletons around. That's clearly a skeleton Wolverine. Like, what the heck?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
What's going on? It gets more bonkers.
Yeah, like Storm's got everyone's powers.
Yeah.
Nightcrawler is, yeah. No one,
right.
Sim, for shame. Have you no respect for the dead? Poor Kitty. Does the sight of Wolverine's skeleton distress you? Would you like a look at your own?
A gesture is made, a spell cast, and silently a child screams.
That's cool. That's creepy. That's cool.
Yeah, it's great.
Skeleton, that's cool. That's awesome.
A word to the wise. That eldritch crystal aided by my magics.
Oh, see, there you go. By magics. you go. Magic.
Now maintains your corporeal form. So long as you remain there, you will live. Here, Ileana, a gift, a token of my love. I also speak Russian.
Exactly.
Because, magics. Because magics. The medallion is empty now, but when you have grown into a woman and learned in full measure the arts arcane, when at last all 5 bloodstones are in their proper place, you will ascend to glorious destiny.
What are the bloodstones? Yeah.
Dude, let's not go further on that other than just the couple of cultural references that we know, like Werewolf by Night.
So I was but is this what he's referencing? The same, like
Don't you think that's what that is?
Yes, that's where my mind. I just know if it was something else.
I think that's all that matters. Is like if I don't think you and I need to connect this to every iteration of what every magic writer decides to do with everything with the words bloodstone. But like if we just say this is in the MCU, like that's a reference that they pulled.
Yeah.
I wonder how many more times this gets used, but we'll uncover that as we go on our journey.
Yeah. Cool.
This is like the start of a magical Infinity Gauntlet journey.
Okay. All right. I'm down.
Maybe.
Right.
Maybe not.
We'll see.
What is this? An evil doppelganger of myself? Wolverine reduced to bare bones? Kitty horribly imprisoned and Ileana intended for some dread sacrifice? I feel as though I've gone mad. I've fallen headlong into hell. And what of Colossus and Storm? Am I alone? No matter, my friends will be avenged, Necromancer, and your plans foiled. Whatever's the cost, this Nightcrawler spares.
I love the idea that he's like hiding up in, on these ledges high in this chamber where there are demon statues.
Gargoyle.
I just wish that like maybe they play with this a little more where we see him in a previous panel hiding up there in silhouette, and you can, like foreshadow that he's going to be there, because to have him just in full color as his first appearance, I think is not as interesting as like knowing that he's kind of up there in the periphery as the story is playing out. Yeah.
Like when he's in that Irish castle with his friends. That was a great episode. But what I also like is they use Nightcrawler because of, now they haven't really gone heavy on the religion stuff. I don't know if that comes later as the character evolves, changes.
Okay.
Different writers.
Last issue.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry. Please, you make your point.
What I was going to say was though, so last, but they do use him as a link or a bridge to like older European, but also like older world gods religion. Like the rest of them don't seem to have that. I mean, they talk about Storm being a goddess, but Nightcrawler talks about hell. Nightcrawler talks about necromancers. Nightcrawler, right? Like these are things that no one else talks about. And so it's an interesting way to bridge this team based in Westchester with like let's just say the older world, maybe the spiritual world, anyway. Then
the world of like superstitions,
exactly,
and, and folktale.
Folktale, thank you. Yeah,
I think that's interesting too. So last issue 159, where they do battle with Dracula, is the first time Nightcrawler mentions his religion.
Right, because the
so that
cross
means
works for him as a deterrent because he believes.
Yes, there are like 70 issues of X-Men where his religion is not brought up.
Right.
And of course, now when you talk to people who are, describing Nightcrawler, it's one of the first things about the character is his Catholicism, his faith. It's a real primary focus for the character. And that's never been a thing for me, because this is my source material, right?
Oh, totally.
I do really like the lush brush work in some of the lines employed by Wiacek. So it's a kind of a neat contrast from Terry Austin, who's like all pen all the time. Elsewhere, oh no, it's a lot of reading for me here. Okay, no, my body on myself once more. And the burns from the monster's venom all healed. Was it a dream? I fear not. But what power can mold and shape me in the blink of an eye, as if I was better than little better than a lump of sculptor's clay? It was terrifying, yet I cannot deny that transformation saved my life. This glade is beautiful, and as hauntingly and infuriatingly familiar as the armlet Peter found that I put on without being cautious.
Mm-hmm.
I wonder what fate befell him. I pray he is well. And because I don't know where I am, I'm going to go in these waters naked.
Yep.
There could be a crocodile, or a giant shark, or a water demon. But you know what? Here we go. The pool looks inviting. Clearly she never saw Jaws. And a swim is what is needed to clear my brain. I'm going to dive head first into that water without seeing how deep it is. This is like lesson number 1 in...
maybe it's like a pool and it has 8 feet, 6 feet, beside
right.
a public pool and tells you how deep it is. Yeah.
To clear my brain and wash away that creature's charnel stench. I've never heard the word charnel before.
Yeah.
Right. Something's charred,
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, you're right.
Who saved me? Would that person be willing to aid the X-Men further? And this is odd for her to say hello in this way with a U.
Mm-hmm.
Hello? Is anyone there? Anyone here? I am Storm, leader of the X-Men. Please answer me. I'm naked and flying. Nothing. I better get dressed. How is that the order of her thoughts? No one's answering my call, so I better put on some clothes. How about I'm about to do a call, I better put on some clothes.
Yeah. Yeah, it's something else.
Oh, my costume is ruined. David brings up the animated series here. He says it's the animated series that really hits the gas on Kurt being religious.
Okay.
They take it from an aspect of his character to his main thing. The comics and the movies followed suit. As far as I know, I agree with you. Yeah. The Leafs win.
Hooray.
Amazing. Super exciting. I'm very happy about that. Here are clothes, though. My savior is a woman. What? A perfect fit. Dude, those are not clothes. Those are your underclothes. But this amulet, I took it without thinking. It feels so right. Around my neck? Oh my God. Did my benefactress mean for me to have it? As a weapon against our unknown foe? Thank you, friend. If possible, I shall return what I have taken. Perhaps when we will meet. Perhaps then we will meet. Farewell. Fear not, Wind Rider. We shall meet. Goddess, help us both. That is a really, really weird scene for a lot of reasons.
Yeah. Yeah, so, right.
I just want to move past all that, if you don't mind.
Let's just move past that.
And this panel should have been on the previous page.
Yeah, because
yeah.
Story, yeah.
I will help save the X-Men, if I can. But if I must sacrifice you to destroy Belasco, then forgive me, Aurora. I shall do so. You see the arm bracelet, armlet,
there's
and
the
armlet.
amulet. That's right. And now
the omelet. She also ate the omelet.
Nightcrawler versus bad Nightcrawler. There we go. Schurkerwillen, turn and face me if you dare. Was ist, du unmöglich? Unmöglich.
So, like a Moloch?
Yeah.
A Moloch, you know what I mean? Like
a demony kind of...
Yeah, or
underworldy... Yeah.
So I'm wondering, I'm just going to look it up because...
Oh, yeah.
I'm presented as a foreign deity who was at times illegitimately given a place in Israel's worship. So it's like Jewish biblical.
Oh, okay.
I wonder then reference purpose of thing with demands requires a costly sacrifice. This is not. I wonder what this word means then in German. I'm actually going to have to look it up. Unmöglich.
That is what I thought when I first beheld you. Tell me, Kurt Wagner.
It means impossible.
What an impossible!
Ready? Here,
Yeah.
you can hear it, maybe. Oh, you couldn't hear it. Unmöglich.
Okay.
Unmöglich.
Impossible.
There you go.
Okay.
Impossible.
Does not the sight of your true self fill you with pride? No, you are not me. You have nothing to do with... Dirt, I am you. I came here with the X-Men to rescue Kitty and Ileana. I saw my friends slaughtered. I was wounded until death, but Belasco spared me, healed me. He showed me the glory of evil.
The double bamf.
Double bam. Bam. That's actually fun. That's a fun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The battle is fought with primordial brutality. With quarter neither asked nor given, which is, by the way, a major Chris Claremont trope. He uses that one all the time. Until, without warning, in a characteristic burst of smoke and flame, both combatants disappear. Sometime later...
I did not summon you, Nightcrawler. I bring news, my lord. I was attacked by an X-Man. I killed him. Have I not served you well, master? Am I not worthy of forgiveness? I suppose so. But take care, demon. I already possess your soul. Tempt fate again. I'll have your heart as well.
I have a hunch. I know what's going to happen.
Wow.
I see a classic, another trope,
A classic.
possibility. We'll see what
Yeah.
happens. We'll see. I can't wait. I can't sort out the sense in this wacko place. We haven't been here that long, yet I keep finding X-Men traces that are incredibly old. What the flaming Colossus? Oh, Petey, oh, pal. His chest caved in, but these remains are ancient. His face, his hair. He was an old man when he died. My senses tell me that this is really Colossus. No fake, no trick. How can that be? Good day, shrimp. Sim's the name. In 4 Sin's the game. Your buddy there is an example of Sim's handiwork. Not bad, eh? Word is you're a pretty rough and tough little hoser yourself. He called him a hoser. Holy smokes.
There's a demon in limbo who uses the Canadian colloquialism of hoser.
Do you think I'm reading him wrong and he's supposed to be Canadian?
No, you're good.
Okay, cool.
No, you're good.
He called him a hoser. I don't
Oh my
believe
god!
it.
Is he an interdimensional Canadian demon this entire time?
Do Americans know the term hoser?
Well, they would if they're familiar with Bob and Doug McKenzie from SCTV.
Right. But would they... okay, so if someone is... let's say it's 1982, you know Bob and Doug.
Yeah.
Would an American in 1982 think that that term is what an outsider would call a Canadian or a Canadian would call a Canadian?
Huh. Interesting. We could ask the chat. There's a few Americans in the chat.
Yeah.
Folks,
Do people
what do you
call
think?
Canadians hosers other
Hosers?
than Canadians calling each other's Canadians? And Chris, when you think of a hoser, like, is it someone who is... okay. That's right, bub. Sim is suitably impressed as he smacks Wolverine.
I also love how he's got
Across the
a
skull.
little vest on.
Yeah.
Little Sim vest on. And might I add, that second panel of his chest caved in.
Yeah.
The Colossus, that is like, and it's Colossus. We all, the guy goes toe to toe with Sentinels. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, oh my goodness.
Well, Sim is going to be, I mean, he's super powerful. I also love how Sim's, like, horns kind of make a little pompadour.
It's true. Yeah.
And he has a vest. Like, he's kind of like a John Cougar Mellencamp, kind of like rocket.
Here's a little story about Sim and Diane. 2-dimensional demons. Sorry. Oh, no.
Sim uses his demon powers to know Hoser will really offend Logan. David, do you think Hoser is derogatory?
Love it.
Or like, if someone used the phrase, there's no way it could be serious, so how could it be derogatory? Or Wolverine, take off, eh?
Take off, eh, hoser? Take off, you hoser, eh? Go, go have a couple of darts after this, eh? There you go. Here we go.
Still breathing. That's easily remedied. And I like the special effect of having like a color hold or like a color overlay of the ink line turned red, so like it looks like it's disappearing. This is what I mean by simple special effect. Like they don't do anything for Kitty when she phases.
Right.
But oh yeah, it's meant to be negative for sure. But I mean, like, do you think it's insulting, David? Do you specifically like if someone, not me, if someone called you Hoser, would you think that it's them being goofy, or is it actually offensive? You hose head. Those teleport circles can be a royal pain. They appear without warning, rhyme, or reason, and transport a body not only through space, but time as well. The runt could be anywhere, any when.
Thank you for explaining that, Sim. We appreciate that. We need someone to tell us exactly what the yellow circles did. If you seek a foe villain, try me. That corpse is me. Yield or suffer the consequences.
Oh, dude, look what he's pulling out of his pants.
I know.
Where was that? Is he pulling out from the back or the front?
I think it's the front. Those are muscles above it, I think.
The back has muscles too. I've had this in my prison wallet for 4 days, but in limbo, 4 days is forever. It scratches that itch that nothing else can reach. You have guts, fella. And style, no denying that. But a bluff won't decide this contest. Power will.
My shoulder.
But why is Colossus standing like square up? Oh my god. Square upright. It's odd. It's just odd.
It is.
Go ahead, sorry.
One of Wolverine's claws, it penetrated my armored form. The creature's strength is beyond belief. Okay, so that's pretty cool. Then he throws the claws through his arm. And so we can now establish that Wolverine should be able to kill Colossus.
Yeah, every time he threatens.
Right?
Well, then again, maybe Wolverine doesn't have the sheer strength to cut through, Maybe. David says, I feel bad for the person calling me a hoser, but at the same time, I'd understand they didn't think much of me. Yeah, it's not a really... I don't think anyone's ever actually used it as a real insult.
Do they use it much on Letterkenny?
No.
I don't think they do, right? They use other...
They use a million other things that are either actually used in those kinds of small towns or just made up for the show.
I'm thinking of other ways that American audiences would be very much inundated with that word.
Also possibly on what's it called?
Oh, Wayne's World. Boys. Wayne's World. He doesn't.
No, Wayne's World takes place in Illinois, Aurora, Illinois.
Hoser though, take off, you hoser. Eh? Take off. Maybe
he might have done a Canadian bit.
Maybe. Anyway.
That was a demonstration. Make things easy on yourself, Colossus. Give up. Sim promises Sim will kill you quickly.
My apologies, Sim. I did not intend to die at all.
That's what you think.
Hey, Speed. Now I'm doing it. Hey, Speed. His speed rivals his strength. I cannot match his rappel. I must find ways to turn it against him. Scott, Cyclops taught me how to fight. His grip tightening, cannot gain proper leverage to break free. I fear Scott's efforts may have been for naught.
Hi there. Remember me?
Okay, so are we to imagine that he's gone? Where has he gone with his claws?
He put his claws in the prison wallet.
Straight in the prison wallet.
David Cutler says, I actually think an American could use it in a certain context to diss a Canadian, to be like, you're small town, rural, and sophisticated, as like general Canadian diss. Yeah, but yeah, I hear you.
This book has everything.
Does Wolverine wash his claws, do you think? He's going to get an infection. Or at least it'll smell bad.
Oh, he's going to smell bad, yeah.
Oh, nice.
I know. And now we get, like, carving up.
Sim tries to be considerate, tries to be merciful, and what does it get him? Grief, bub.
Oh.
And this is only the beginning.
I love when they break up sentences across multiple strikes. It's good. Yeah.
I think we had a moment in one of our books where something like, I think it's like, you talk too much or something along those lines, where it's like broken up for 4 panels in the middle of a fight scene, right?
I'm a fan of this.
Yeah, it's good times.
Wrong, runt. Gripes, he ain't even scratched.
I do not like striking from behind. This is dishonorable. But in your case, monster, I will gladly make an exception.
Colossus, what? No!
Bon voyage, comrades.
A teleport circle, you lousy stinking.
Okay, so now we know that these things exist and they take you anywhere, anytime. So, right. So, I guess that they can be used as a device to be explored later on further storytelling.
We'll see.
Here we go. I'm grateful for your timely arrival, Wolverine. That was more luck than I deserve.
Luck had nothing to do with it, pal. Thank the lady here. Her magic brought me down to you and Sim. Her scent. I know it. But that's impossible.
Logan has recognized me and is appropriately confused. He will learn the truth soon enough, I fear. Your friends have need of you. I shall send you to them.
Wait a minute, lady. What about you?
Katya? So, X-Men, we meet at last, for the first and final time. No, Belasco! Your reign of terror is over!
Kurt, away from him!
Storm, but young and vital at the peak of her elemental powers. You have me at a disadvantage, X-Men. A situation that will soon be remedied.
Quickly, haltingly, Nightcrawler tells all that he has seen and heard.
I defeated my evil doppelganger, took his clothes, played his part. But Storm, what of Kitty if she is removed from her crystal prison without a skeleton?
Belasco! Belasco! By my heart and soul, you shall pay for this, if it takes me to the end of time. She summons a hurricane to sweep her after the demon lord. But suddenly, surprisingly, the wind turns on her, stops her in mid-flight. No, Wind Rider, you must not do. Why not? Who are you, stranger, to command the X-Men? See for yourself. I, Obi-Wan Kenobi, I, too, face this choice. I followed Belasco. My friends followed me. They died. I was damned. I will not allow that tragedy to happen again.
Fantastic! Belasco spoke of this. We are in a magical limbo, where none of the rules of space and time apply. We can be both old and young, alive and dead, good and evil.
Spare me your philosophy, Kurt. If you wish to be of use, find a way to save Kitty. I think I can be of assistance, Storm. As I grew older and my ability to control the elements waned, I turned to the other half of my heritage, sorcery. Belasco allowed my study of the black arts, assuming that their fundamental evil would corrupt me as they had Nightcrawler. His error. Forgive me, kitten. There will be some pain.
Wow. I'm me again. I'm whole. Oh, thank you, Roro. Thank you. Thank you.
You are quite welcome, little one.
Oh, Roro, I don't understand. You're old.
Heads up, troops. We got company. Seconds later. Well, I stuck my whole fist up this time. One down, but I got a nasty feeling it was the first of many. Belasco, I can handle. Sim, I would not like to meet again. I say we've a moose. Sorry, did you hear me?
Vamoose?
Did I cut out?
No, you're good.
Okay, good.
No, you're good. So I love it. Seconds later, so Wolverine just has obliterated this demon.
Yeah,
and the claws go back in the holster.
And don't forget, there's also like the residual like blood in the air as it's like bits of blood are flying off his claws as he retracts them.
Yeah,
that's cool. That's cool.
And they're becoming a lot more free with that. It's not where we'll where we'll take it eventually, but very much that he is hitting skin.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I say we've a moose. The necklace you wear, Storm, has the power to send you home. The mystic gate to your isle will be sealed behind you, forever denying Belasco that route to freedom. And you, I shall remain to cast the spell. You had the power. Why did you not escape long ago? With my X-Men slain, I had nothing to return home to. And someone has to watch Belasco, guard him, ensure that he does not find another exit.
I will not need another witch. This one will more than suffice. Storm, do we fight?
Yes. No. Trust me, my children. Obey me. If nothing else, I have seniority. In her African homeland, Storm was called a goddess. The X-Men had always thought that innocent hyperbole. Now, watching her wield awesome, eldritch energies with consummate ease and skill, they're not so sure.
Guys, will it help if I chant, "There's no place like home"?
Ha, flamin' ha, kiddo. Here we go. Belasco, he slipped by me.
Abort the spell and yield, or see your precious little snowflake torn limb from limb. Juliana, I've got her.
I'm reading the... Oh, yeah, I am. Shit, excuse me. Pietro Nikolaevich, help me. He's hurting me.
Waka waka!
Oh, right. You dropped your Fozzie Bear.
Fozzie's flying.
It's too late. We're back on our island. Kitty, the circle is closing. Pull her through. I'm trying. Oh, no. Wait. There she is. But Belasco's pulling just as hard. Help me, all of you. I'm not strong enough. Pull. Oh, I can't feel anything. I've lost her. We did it. Ilyana, Natalia Novana. Nona. Beloved sister, welcome. Home?
Peter Nikolaevich? Is that you? Really you? Later. Who do you want to say that is?
Storm.
We don't know who's talking. Storm?
Sure.
Moira's examined her. She says the kids... No, it's Wolverine.
Wolverine.
It's at least it's clear. Like you can hear.
Moira's examined her. The hosers just no, it's Wolverine.
Moira's examined her. She says the kid's definitely Ileana, a perfectly healthy, normal 13-year-old girl. She was out of Kitty's grip for a second, yet somehow Ileana 7 years passed.
What am I to do? How can I face our parents? What do I tell them?
Hard as it is for you, Peter, think of how Ileana must be feeling. Look at that ad. Go back one quick.
Done.
G.I. Joe by Herb Trimpe. Awesome. They're sneaking up. Doing some good work, Joes.
They're doing something.
Yep.
Something.
Love it.
Love it.
I have done little else, Aurora. You know, my friends, sometimes I wish I had never heard of Charles Xavier or the X-Men.
Wow.
Well, yeah. It is so cruel, so unfair. Childhood should be the happiest of times, and in a stroke, Ileana has lost that forever. Worse, she's now spent half her life in limbo. But with Storm or Belasco, what does she see? What horrors endured? Should I welcome her and comfort her, love her, or fear her?
Who is it? Who's there?
Don't be frightened, little snowflake. It is only I.
Peter. I was so afraid. I thought you'd forgotten me, that you would hate me. It's been so long. I missed you so much. But I knew we'd find each other again, and that everything would be all right. And I still didn't learn English in my 7 years in Belasco's realm, speaking English to him.
What's the matter? They don't teach English in Limbo? That's ridiculous.
Right, and yeah, or with Storm, or whoever she was with. She babbles on, eyes alight with joy, and he loves every word of it. He lets her talk until fatigue finally takes its toll and she falls asleep. Then, with brotherly tenderness, he tucks her into bed and sleeps himself by her side, ready to protect her should the need arise. She stirs, a hand unfolding to reveal an ancient ornate medallion.
Ooh.
She's had it for as long as she can remember. It's her special talisman, a gift from one who said he loved her. It opens. In the deepest recesses of her mind, a voice is heard. Go ahead.
When you are grown into a woman and have learned in full measure the arts arcane, when at last the bloodstones are in their proper places, you, Ileana, will ascend to the most glorious of destinies.
Waka waka!
Way to ruin the ending.
Thanks, buddy.
David says the metaphor of a lost childhood. Pretty dark stuff. Agreed. And there's also this ongoing thing of Claremont positioning female characters as being too powerful that they might become, they're either savior or destroyer. This is now the third time that he's positioned a character to be either savior or destroyer that are women. He doesn't do this to the male characters. And there I'm sure there is quite a bit of discussion somewhere about his interpretation of female power.
Absolutely.
Interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, undercut by Fozzie Bear. It is. I get like the idea there that, like, you know, he holds her childhood, right?
Yeah.
He literally holds that totem of her childhood in his hand. That's pretty. Like, I think that's good storytelling.
Yeah.
You ruined it though, Chris.
Well,
but you know, it's good storytelling.
Yeah.
What comes after this cryptic ad for Darkseid, Dark Phoenix, Apocalypse Now?
Anything else? Let me find out. A Dungeons and Dragons comic. Pretty sweet.
Right.
Pretty sweet.
And then the back.
Some Joe.
G.I. Joe.
Global Strike Force team.
Yeah, man, I was all in when I saw this. I'm like, oh, a Mobile Strike Force team? Look at the Blockbuster membership kit. You get your G.I. Joe dog tag. It's metal. Personalized with your name.
Ooh.
And your address. You get a G.I. Joe military web belt, adjustable, olive drab color. Official G.I. Joe team engraved brass buckle. You get a plastic G.I. Joe membership card. That's pretty good. You get the wall poster. I wonder which poster it is. I have an idea which one it is, but I'm curious. I have to maybe look it up. The G.I. Joe Iron-On emblem for T-shirts, sweatshirts, and jackets. Yeah, Iron-Ons. Introductory newsletter and the annual G.I. Joe Mobile Strike Force newsletter with news about the G.I. Joe team and special offers.
Wow.
Man, I am in. It expired January 31st, 1983. I'm only 40 years behind. Come on.
I'm sure he could find you one somewhere. It's got to be like a unused, unopened Blockbuster Strike Force on
It's
eBay.
the dog tags because I need that cheap metal against my delicate skin.
Oh, it burns. It's cheap.
I used to, before they had lanyards, the chains we used to wear at the ROM, the Royal Enfield Museum, they always gave me terrible hives. David says, "Oh yeah, great issue. Claremont's back in top form by now. I think it is a fun issue. I wonder again how it would look under a different art team, whether it was Cockrum or Sienkiewicz. Might have been a really cool one. Can you imagine this one drawn by Mignola though? Right?
Yeah, there's a lot of great things about this story. I think.
Okay, please tell me what are the great things.
Well, I think, or at least as a comic. I mean, we got like a demony Mephisto character. Okay, that's fine. But we got this other guy, Sim, who's like going toe to toe with all the X-Men, and you're kind of like, what is this guy all about? Which I think is kind of anytime there's a power, and it seems like interesting too. So anytime there's like a power set that is rival, it's going to take a team to break them down. It's kind of an exciting thing. And then, of course, and we joked about this I think maybe even in episode 1, if we go all the way back, because it does debut Ileana, and I think I was like, wait, isn't she like a teenager? And you're like, no, she starts off as a little kid. I'm like, but how did she get to be a teenager? This issue,
right?
we just had to do 75 issues of this live stream episodes to get to Ileana becoming closer to the version of what we recognize as Magik. So it just was. I actually thought it was a kind of a fun. It's kind of gimmicky, but it's a fun device to be like, oh no, she's half a second or second in limbo, and turns out 7 years of her life. It's like that.
Yep.
They do that with the MCU with Ant-Man, right? When the blip happens and he's in the quantum realm,
Yeah.
and it's like, oh, it was 5 years. Like, well, it was only 2 hours for me, or whatever the heck it was. So, but I actually really enjoyed this. Now she's like a grown-up-ish character, a younger Kitty Pryde-ish character, and at some point soon she'll join a new team, and that book's going to take off. And anyway, it's kind of cool.
I have a hunch we're not going to read the Magik series, but it is kind of neat as a contrast because the artist of Conan,
Right.
John Buscema, is the one drawing this. And he does some things that are like, oh yeah, he understands how to do these weird dark realms.
Right.
And Tom Palmer is like an extraordinary inker. Talk about lush brushwork. He's like the inker on Tomb of Dracula and all sorts of really cool stuff. Like, take a look at that spread. Like, look at those demons.
Yeah, that's pretty sweet.
Like, just it's so much more dynamic all of a sudden. Just even that darkness in the background, just having it on black, like it does a lot.
And so does
that's the moment.
Series, that's the moment. Little girl lost. This fills in the time that she's in limbo.
Yeah, and the battle that the Elder Storm,
Old Storm does
wages.
Old Lady Storm,
Belasco.
Logan. Yeah.
I wanted to show you there are cool things like you get like this transformation.
Yeah.
So I'm not sure if she spends 7 years there or if time it's like part of a spell, but I'm going to probably have to read this issue to find out.
Right.
But then there's also like, you can see like his version of how, like he does these storytelling things like the 1, 2, 3.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like he understands lighting and storytelling in a way that Brett Anderson doesn't. But he's also a complete veteran, and there's like this ninja.
There is a ninja there.
And it's, spoiler, it's Kitty Pryde as a grown-up.
Right.
Because remember, we didn't see her die, right? We saw the dead Colossus. We saw the dead Wolverine skeleton.
It's right. We don't know what happened to her.
Yeah, we don't know what happened to her. So she's She's like the foot soldier of the sorceress Aurora.
Right. Right.
So they work together. She has a sword. She has no pants. And she does ninja stuff.
Okay.
Yeah. She's actually pretty cool. Her mask is like Wolverine's, but with a third thing in the middle.
Okay.
Let me see if I can get you.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
It's, throwing stars and stuff, but
Okay.
yeah, it's odd. An odd design, but there's something there.
But no, but I'll say I enjoyed that issue a lot. I thought it was kind of fun little dark. I mean, it gets gross at times, but it's also kind of
Oh, definitely. Like, take a look at this castle.
yeah, right.
Like, cool colors, nice, creepy, demonic-looking castle. Like, he just does these landscapes in a really interesting and more playful and dramatic way.
Yeah.
He is definitely built for this kind of a thing, whereas Anderson's out of his depth, I think.
Right.
Trevor says, need that kitty look in a Marvel Legend. I think, if they gave her the Wolverine style mask, I would like that better, but it's a lot of leg and hip and a bikini zone. Well, not enough coverage for a modern Marvel Legend. The one that we really need, though, of course, is Sim. A Build-A-Figure Sim.
I was going to say, yeah, we need a Sim.
Complete with a Wolverine claw tucked down the front.
Sticking right out of his big old...
He has to have the accessory, like one broken off Wolverine claw you can kind of tuck away. The other one I was thinking was, of course, that like someone has to make that evil dark Nightcrawler. No, or don't.
Jeez.
Gropey.
Yeah, dude.
Gropey McGroperstein.
Yeah, jeez, pervy Nightcrawler.
Yeah, pervy Nightcrawler. Diver Storm.
Yeah, that's right.
Belasco is kind of due for a Marvel Legend. No,
is he in anything else? Comes back. Okay.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. We'll see lots of him down the road.
Okay.
Night Creeper. Yeah. But Sim for sure. For sure. And we'll see also how this connects to Inferno. Right, Sim is like the demon right hand of Madeline Pryor.
Yeah, he's right there in the back.
Yeah, look at him in his vest.
Hello, I love New York.
Right, I like him with the wristbands. I like a little more leather action to him. That's good.
Oh, and there's oops, sorry, there's Liana. See, she's got around her neck.
Let's see, we can. Oh, sorry, dude.
That's okay.
There we go.
Isn't that Ileana right there with the horns?
Yeah, in her Demon Child stuff or Dark Child.
Yeah.
But see, like the monsters behind.
Yeah.
Like just those little touches. So this is Mark Silvestri, probably inked by Dan Green. And Silvestri is definitely in like a lineage from John Buscema. Like that's a really good. This issue should have been drawn by John Buscema. It would have been way cooler. But there you go. That's one of the fun games with comic books and who not everyone can draw every issue every time. A couple things. Do you want to do some administrivia? Just kind of wrap up a couple things.
Sure, thanks.
First, shouts to our friend. I'm gonna sneeze. Hold on.
Wait for it.
Shouts to our friend Brian Beliefs on his Kickstarter that launched today for his third volume. Mine are right up there. You can't see that. They're right there.
Okay. 2
volumes of Brian Beliefs' amazing chronicle of the Maple Leafs season from last year and the year before. Really entertaining stuff. You can follow him on Instagram at Brian Beliefs. And that is a fun project to back for sure. That's one you and we both love.
Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely.
I won't say what this is for yet, but here's some new Group of 7 art that is for a thing. And yeah, this is a redo of an older piece that is around somewhere, but I think I put it away. But this is going to be used for something. I had to enlarge and modify a piece, and so I just finished this, and it's probably still a little bit wet, so be careful.
Okay.
It's not wet. There, see, the shotgun looks good, don't you think? At the bottom?
I agree.
Yeah, it's going to get cut off, though, in the crop, so don't worry about it. But for the original piece, it looks better to have it on there.
Totally.
So keep your eyes peeled to Group of 7 socials for an upcoming announcement in the next few days. By Saturday, you said?
Yeah. Oh, yeah, Saturday is the launch.
The launch of what? Do you want to say?
Oh, yeah, I've already cat's out of the bag, but we are launching a crowdfunder campaign to assist with raising funds to print a new printing of Group of 7, A Most Secret Tale graphic novel, because we're basically it's done. There's like a handful of copies left, and we need to reprint it so that we can get it out to people and have it at shows and all those kind of cool fun things. And so we are going for our very, very, very first crowdfunder. We've never done this before. But you can support and bag yourself some nifty goodies. There's a bunch of our existing products up there, including Peregrine's comics. You can obviously pre-order the new printing of the book. And actually, I'll be sharing this information tomorrow on our socials, but it will also be the site to order your copy of our brand new 12th comic book, Peregrine's Hunter's Moon, which is the third one-shot that we released on Instagram back in December. It's coming to print in the next few weeks, and you'll be able to order it exclusively from our campaign page starting this Saturday. The link will be there for you to order your copy. So that's kind of fun. And then we have a whole bunch of other kind of little fun things planned, and we are part of a Canadian creators campaign. It's going to run for a few weeks in April and May. It's connected to a few comic book shows like TCAF and VanCAF and MCAF, which, Jason, you will be at in Montreal later in May. So all these things are happening. We are super excited to launch our very, very first crowdfunder. Hope you get a chance to take a look at it. Feel free to support if you like as well. We always appreciate it. Also want to shout out a few people. We got a few new subscribers. We finally breached 200 subscribers on the Group of 7 Comics YouTube channel. So shout out to Bane McLaughlin, Chuck Dotson, and Juan Ramirez to be new subscribers to our channel. We are now at 202 subscribers. And thanks everyone in the chat as well for showing up tonight. Oh, there's Hunter's Moon right there. It's our 12th book, and it's our first one that's actually set in Canada, which is kind of funny considering all our books are dripping with maple syrup. But in this case, this one's actually set in British Columbia about 100 or so years ago. That's what's going on. And we'll have more information over the next few days. We will share on our socials. So please follow and check things out. Yes, David, please do. And hey, man, just anyway, we just hang with you anyway. But appreciate any and all support. And hey, and if you can spread the word too, that's also really, really cool. Friends of the channel, please do that and give us a hand if you feel like doing that. We always appreciate it. And I think that's it, Jay.
Yeah, man. I was just watching the Cartoonist Kayfabe episode this morning about X-Men, Uncanny X-Men 275. They covered that issue, positing the idea that maybe this is like peak Jim Lee. That he's just sort of at his best, going on all cylinders, and that it's the best the X-Men have ever looked. And in the context in which they were saying it, I agree with them. And it was neat to see. It just is also sort of sad because he takes everything that Claremont builds that we're in the middle of, and he's like, it's gotten tired. We're gonna put it all aside, and we're gonna do this different direction. And he's not there to pick up the pieces after the bubble bursts. He's just there to inflate, and then and he goes and does his own thing. But his version of each of the characters is like the best looking version that a character can be. And it's really neat to see, like, he does draw the best looking Banshee if you need your characters to all look cool. Right. But maybe not all characters are supposed to look cool. Like, but he definitely is the best at making every single character look better than they ever did. But under anyone else's guardianship. So it's neat to I was just watching that episode. I enjoy the conversation and hearing these guys geek out because it's like their childhood comic. It's the one that they're reading when they're 10 and 11 years old. They're like, oh my God. So need to watch that episode of Kayfabe. Yeah.
Cool.
Other than that, man, Group of 7 Comics, at Group of 7 Comics on all the socials. Group of 7comics.ca is our website. There you go.
Yeah.
Next week, we have special guest Dave Pretorius from the
Oh,
city.
we do. Oh, right.
Yeah,
on.
Dave's coming on next week.
Awesome.
That should be
Yeah.
awesome to hang with him. I got some Dave Pretorius art on the wall behind me, but it's covered up. You won't be able to see that there. It's nice. Give me a nice Gambit sketch card.
Cool.
So we'll talk a little bit of Gambit and his love of X-Men next week. If you haven't checked out The City, you can follow. I think it's called The City Graphic Novel.
City Graphic Novel is the handle. Yeah.
On Instagram. Nice guys. And we'll hang with Dave next week. There's 2 Daves and a Dickie. All good guys.
There you go.
And their issue 3 just came out, so that'll be fun. So that's next week as we read issue 161. And I have no idea what's coming in issue 161 until I look ahead right now. One more plug.
Yes. Plug. Ooh, yes.
Your local comic book store or bookstore. I believe it comes out in May. Squire and Knight from Canadian cartoonist extraordinaire Scott Chandler, friend of the show, frequent guest of the show. We're thinking of you, Scott and Irene, and this is Scott's new book coming out, and it's really, really, really good. So, a fun graphic novel, all ages, adventure, D&D style sort of setting. The title says it all. It really does.
Yeah, I think put up
Squire
my
Knight.
first second press.
First second. Yeah. Very cool. Endorsement from Kazu on the cover. Like, that's speaks volumes. Anyway, check it out. And there you go. That's it for the night. Chris, thank you for everything today. Good to hang out with you. And we'll catch up soon.
Yeah, man.
And there you go. More X-Men to come.
Jays won their home opener. It's all good.
Oh, right. I forgot. What was the score in the Jays game?
I was like 6-3 or 6-4 or something.
Any notable hits or home runs?
9-3 in the end. Sorry. Kirk hit one. Who else? I think Bichette hit one. Anyway, yeah, all good. And Kiermaier took a home run away in center field. Like, reached over, dive, took it back out. Yeah,
that's awesome. I have to watch that highlight.
There you go. All right.
Very cool. All right, buddy. Everyone have a great night, and we'll hopefully see you next week. Thanks for hanging out with us.
Thanks so much.